What is going on, everyone? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and sorry it took me a moment to get started there. Everything was a little different in StreamYard, so it took me a second to find my intro, but it is a scorcher outside today, and we are going to see if we've got hot prices in this auction or if things have cooled off. But I will tell you, from what I've seen so far, it in general looks like it has been pretty strong. There was one big disappointment in my opinion already, but there were some other big sales already. You can see we are already up at the Captain America comics #1. There were two of them. The 5.5 sold for 174,000, and we have the 4.5 going right now, and it's actually doing really well, very close behind the 5.5. But what I decided to do for this one, if you watched my prior series of videos, I priced out everything that I was watching in this first set of books. And so I'm watching 98 different books in this first set, which includes about 207 different items or 206 different items. And out of those, 9 of them are already above my estimates. So there are some that are doing very well, and there are some big books already. And one thing that I'm going to call out because it bothers me. I'll say it bothers me a little bit. So I'm going to jump over to, we'll just start with one of the big items that sold already. We've got this All Story number 94. This is the first appearance of Tarzan. It's a pulp. We had the other graded copy. It's like a 6.0 that sold for, I don't remember what it was, like 250 or 260,000 or something. This one at 1.5 sold for 78,000. Let me check what I thought that one was going to go for 55. And now this book does not sell often. It sells maybe once a year at best. And I was basing that off some raw sales that had happened, but I mean, 78,000 beat my estimate by 23,000, was a solid, strong opener. I will also say that the cover, that one, I thought maybe I was being a little too positive saying that it was going to go for 300,000. Like I thought maybe I'm being crazy there. This can go for 300,000. Went for $408,000 just for the cover. I mean, it's a nice looking cover, but just for the cover, like that is an impressive sale. I was surprised by that because it was sitting at 300,000 when it opened. And it was kind of just sitting there for a moment, and then it jumped up to 340,000 on the bid, which meant 408,000. So, oh yeah, and appreciate it, Mark. And so yeah, just that one. This is why I like starting just a little bit after the auction's already started, because then we get to see some of these books that have already sold, and we can talk about some of this stuff. Because yeah, 408,000 just for the cover of this Action Comics 1. I'm guessing maybe that person has an interior, and they're gonna try to make a married copy, but. I mean, even if you marry them together, I feel like it's going to be tough to get up to that type of number, even with the married interior. So yeah, that sale really surprised me. Now, the two that I'm going to call out here, and I could be wrong, like I would love to know, what that person actually paid for those books. But if you watched my videos about the books that were found, that collection that was found underneath the stairs, there was basically someone who moved into an apartment. They were told that their storage space was underneath these stairs, and like whatever's in there, just deal with it. And so they went under they got those books. They went to their storage space, and there were some comics in there. There's some old comics in there, and this person ended up posting about it on Reddit. And so we all saw them. And then I guess like it got back to the owner of the building, and they're like, oh, those are my grandfathers or something like that, or fathers. And so they ended up getting them. And then somebody in a Facebook group posted that they had picked up 4 books, and those 4 books were from that collection. And my problem is going to be, I hope they paid that person a fair number. And because to me, a fair number is not that seller is happy. Because especially when you see what these books sold for, because if that person paid like $5,000 or $10,000, like that's the problem with dealing in comics. Like that is completely unacceptable for what these books sold for. I hope they go back and give this person more money if they paid what I think they probably paid for those books. I'd be shocked if they paid over 10 grand. I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe they paid more, but here's one of them. Just one of them. The Action Comics 15 6.0 sold for $21,000. 21,600. I thought that book was going to go for 11 grand. The white pages really pushed that one up. And so that one went for 21,600. Then there was this one, Adventure Comics number 46. The highest grade that it ever sold was a 4. This is an 8. It is the second highest graded copy. I had no idea that this book was going to do what it did. I thought this book might go for like 15. I said it would probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it went higher, but for me, that meant like 20, maybe like 25 at the top. $50,400 for this book. 50,000. So just these two, and these two do not, this was 2 of 4 books that person bought, sold for over 70,000. And this doesn't include the Detective Comics 35. So yeah, this, and I've got DJ Moon here says, let's see. I saw a Facebook post of this guy was cleaning his girl's aunt's uncle's house out and found over 100 high-grade Golden Age books. Did you see that? I think I've seen something on that. I remember seeing a post about some other Golden Age books being found, but generally they didn't look like they were like key issues. It was a lot of like fiction house type stuff, like Jungle Comics and that, but I don't know if that's the same one or not. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's actually the same. That's definitely not this one, but I don't know if that's the same one that I've seen out there. But yeah, I'm pointing this out because I hope, like, if that person paid low, I hope they go back and give some more money, because 50 grand, like, just for this one book, that was a monster number for that one. All right, now for what I feel like was early on, at least, the big disappointment. So the big disappointment that I saw was the Amazing Fantasy 15, 7.5 white pages. Now I'm familiar with this book because I've seen it trade hands privately a couple times. And I was thinking, like, I thought maybe it would go for like 175. Like, as a white pages copy, I thought it might get a big premium. And I bet that person was excited with these earlier sales too, because it looked like we were having some really hot early sales. And this copy sold for just 138,000. That took a beating. I don't know if it's because of the little bit of Marvel chipping on the right or what, but I mean, like, I think Brian, the auctioneer there, was saying this is the highest graded white pages copy Heritage has ever sold. Like, I thought that would give it a big premium because people are always talking about white pages and everything. And we often do see a premium with AF-15 with white pages. And I feel like we didn't even get any, like none. So I wouldn't be surprised if a dealer bought it and you're going to see it for like 175,000 at like New York Comic Con or, something like that. But yeah, and so, like, people ask this question. So I see this question here. I'm assuming you're talking about this Golden Age book. Surely the owner did the research. The difficult thing is the person who bought from them, they said they are very experienced. They bought and sold a lot, all that kind of thing. If you don't know how to grade, you don't really know what you have. Because like, for example, let's take a look at this Adventure Comics 46. So if we look at Adventure number 46, and this is where, like, I try to tell people, like, if somebody is coming up to you and like traveling to see you, don't sell them your books. Like, I know that hurts for dealers here, like, for me to say that, but it's like, they're traveling to see you. You should be contacting Heritage or Comic Link or Comic Connect and have them sell your books, because guaranteed what you have is probably worth 2, 3, 4 times as much. Like, that is what you should be doing. And you may have to pay a big premium to Heritage or someone or Comic Link to do some of that back end work, but it's not going to be anywhere near the premium that you're paying to that dealer. So I mean, oh man, like, but look at this. Like, so yeah, like, this book, the highest graded copy of Adventure Comics 46 that had ever sold previously was a 4.0. And these records have been kept since like 2000. And that was for $5,000. So if you looked at this, even if you did that effort, went through that effort, if you don't know anything about comics, you're like, man, the best copy that's ever sold is $5,000. Maybe mine's worth $3,000. But the reality is that was an 8, and that 8 ended up selling for $50,000. That's where it's like, even if you do research, if you don't have that deep knowledge, you're not going to know what you really have. And that's kind of the tough part there. But let's see. Fantastic Four 9.2 sale versus the last sale. Oh, yeah, I was interested in seeing what that would go for. Let's see, what did it? Let's jump up and see that one. It actually beat what I thought it would do. So I'll say that. So we've got this comment here, Ryan McWilliams, that Fantastic Four 9.2 sale versus the last sale to be expected. Oh man, yes. So this one sold for 600,000. This book right here, Fantastic Four #1, White Mountain Pedigree 9.2. The record during the comic boom was 1.5 million. However, I had estimated that I thought it was going to sell for 500,000. I was expecting that book to take a massive, massive hit, and it did 600,000. So I would say if you're the seller, I mean, yeah, you see the $1.5 million sale, and that's disappointing from the comic boom period. But in my opinion, for what it went for, I think it was actually a pretty solid sale. So I don't think that, I mean, hopefully don't be too disappointed about that, because I mean, comic boom prices just aren't the prices anymore, right? And some books just went absolutely crazy, had some crazy high sales, and that one was one of them. Now, one of the other books that had a very solid sale and has proven itself now as being the modern Grail comic. I did a little short about that one as well. This book right here, Amazing Spider-Man 667, a 9.8, signed by Delato, sold for $31,200. I thought it was going to take a hit. I mean, because we've seen what the Ultimate Fallout 4 variant has done, and this book doesn't sell nearly as often. It's much less common than the Ultimate Fallout 4 Jurjevic variant. But I still thought like it was probably going to tick down. I had it going for 20 grand. I thought it was going to probably take a hit, and it didn't. I mean, 31,200. This was a strong, solid sale. I was watching this book because I was interested in it. There are two modern Grail books that I would like to own at some point. This is one of them. The other one, and I can never remember the issue number. I think it's X-Men 510. It's the Psylocke sketch variant by J. Scott Campbell. Like, those are the two that are always on my radar that I'm always watching for. I love this depiction of Spider-Man. I think it's awesome. And it's just such a super rare book. And yeah, I mean, it just looks great. So yeah, that was a solid sale too. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, these opening sales so far, in my opinion, have been really, really strong. Now let's take a look at this Batman. We had a Batman #1 and a 3.5. Oh, Mark, what did you pick up? I picked it up. Obviously. Oh, nice. All right. So Mark picked up the 9.8 Amazing Spider-Man 667. I mean, like I said, like I love that book, and it was the modern Grail book before the Ultimate Fallout 4 like hype stuff happened, and that's why I felt like it would retain that title after everything kind of came back. And to me, it really has. Now, I will say I wouldn't be surprised, like, if it. I mean, that's a lot of money for modern. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it does tick down, if it sells again. But that is the book that is one of the books that I'm really watching. Now, the Batman one, 3.5. Pretty solid book. Old label. I mean, it looks good. It looks really, really solid for the grade. I had this Batman one going for 185,000. Record was 264,000. This one sold for 186,000. So 1,000 over my estimate, like pretty much right in line then. I mean, that's as close as I can hope to be. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, so solid sale for Batman one. The interesting thing will be later in this auction today, there are 3 more Batman #1s that are coming up for sale. There's a 1.8, then there's like a 6 or a 6.5 restored, and then it's like a 3 or a 3.5 restored. And so I don't know what the impact is going to be of having 4 Batman 1s selling this close together, but the first one already did pretty well. Then we have this was just cool. Let's see what this one goes for. We've got the Journey into Mystery 85. I think this is tied for highest. Yeah, there's 4 and a 9.6. First appearance of Loki, a white pages copy. I mean, just an absurd grade for this book. Currently sitting at 84,000. Let's see, what did I have it going for? I estimated that this would go for 75,000. Prior record was 53,300. So it's already, to me, it's already doing well. 90 grand is what it's sitting at right now. So, I mean, yeah, like I think the only, I didn't price out the Weird Tales, but 24,000 feels strong. I think it's tied for top of census. This is that first appearance of Conan. But yeah, like everything except for some reason, this Amazing Fantasy 15 seems to be doing real well. Let's check the Captain America #1s, because there are two of them. I didn't know what that would do, but we had a 5.5 that went for 174 and a 4.5 that went for 162. The interesting thing to me is I feel like the 4.5 actually, like, it's like a little brighter almost or something. There's just something that catches my attention a little more about the 4.5. But let's see. So Captain America #1, I had where is it? Oh man, where are you at? Oh, okay. I had the 5.5 going for 155 and the 4.5 going for 135. And we had 174 and 162. So continued that trend of, at least the books I'm watching have been doing really well. Now, I did not watch this Captain America 10, so I don't really have a price estimated for that one. And I'm not watching the Tech 35, the conserve, so I didn't have a price ready for that one. But I mean, this Tech 35 conserved, it's the Larson pedigree, but conserved went for 78,000. And then we had the 9.2 FF1. I mean, it's down a lot from what it was at during the comic boom, but like I said, I still feel like it was strong. And then we had the Fantastic Four #5, also a 9.2. First Doom went for 108,000. Let's see. 108,000. What did I have that one going for? Where are you at? I had it going for 100,000. So, I mean, 8% over my estimate. But that's, I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's about, right in line. But yes, yeah, the AF-15 did have some Marvel Edge chipping, and so I was wondering if that's what would hold it back, but I thought the white pages would overpower that, but apparently it did not. Let's see. These early sales are a testament to the strength of the high-end comic market. That Captain America 10 9.6 is insane. Yeah, I mean, we can actually look that one up right now. I mean, I didn't price it, but I mean, I think this was a Promise Collection copy, or was this a San Francisco? Let's see. Oh, this was a San Francisco. Those usually go for a pretty big premium. It is a very desirable pedigree. I don't actually see San Francisco pedigree copies come up all that often. Let's check that one out. So that's Captain America #10. Yeah, the San Francisco pedigree, from what I understand, it's a similar background to the Promise Collection pedigree, but it had a prior record of 55,200. That was in 2023, comic boom type sale. But let's see, what did it go for? Went for 40,200. So definitely down. Now, it's hard to say. Like that's where it's always tricky, like trying to price something out after it's sold, like what I think it might have gone for. Usually, the way that I approach these types of sales is that when there's a kind of like a big sale, and it's just got that one sale that's out there, I don't typically think that it's going to hit that same number. A lot of times I will estimate a little bit lower. I probably would have estimated it at like 50,000. So I do feel like that one, even if I would have estimated it beforehand, I probably would have said 50. So this one, in my opinion, went low. I think it did go low, but is it the highest graded copy? Yeah, 1 in 9.6, none higher. I mean, single highest graded. It's not my favorite cover. I think that's maybe one of the things that hurts it a little bit. But and I mean, I'm not the only person whose opinion matters on it. But I think that could be something that hurts it some. But still, I feel like that was I think is a good pickup. I feel like that's a very reasonable price for a 9.6 Cap 1 single highest graded San Francisco pedigree. But let's see, any more comments before I jump back into some books here. Let's put this back up. Oh, we've got the Wiz Comics #1 or #2 technically. But I feel like this is one of the highest graded copies I've seen come up of this book. Usually when I see this, it's like a 2 or a 3. Let's see. Yeah, the Cap 10 was down from 2023, definitely. Yeah, but let's see. What did I know I priced out the Wiz Comics. So its prior record was 288. I had it going for 195 because I've seen I feel like every time I see that book come up, it's been going down. Like the desire for it's been down. but it's up. It's tied its record. It's sitting at 288 right now. I mean, this is it's just I'm pretty impressed with the sales right now. Now, I've talked about that before when I've done recaps after the fact for these auctions. That this does not mean that like comic market is back or everything is strong. Like this is a very specific market. I mean, this is the high end market. Just like you've got this comment here from Thomas Palmer. These early sales are a testament to the strength of the high end comic market. Every market is not the same. I mean, I've seen that even with my sales. Like for my comic book sales, I have seen a decrease in certain areas of the market, and I've seen an increase in others. Like I feel like I've seen an increase in sales in the lower end raws, and I've seen a decrease in sales in the kind of like the mid price point type books, like 1,000 to 5,000 type books. But the books that are like 500 and below, especially raws, I've been seeing an increase in sales. But we can see here, like at the high end, and this is very high end. Everything, not everything. I can't say everything, but a lot of the books are doing extremely well. Let's check out, because yeah, I mean, we've been talking about. There's been some Silver Age, some even had some modern. And some Golden Age. Let's see. We've got some other Silver Age that's sold. We had this Hulk 1 in a 9.2. That did really well. I'll say that did really well. Let's open that one up. I did not think this book would get this close to replicating that last 9.2 sale. So 780,000. I had this going for, let me find it. I had it going for 550. I thought this was going to take a big haircut from the prior record of 825. And because we hadn't seen a 9.2 sell in a long time. Here, let's look it up just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So we had a 9.2, I think it was last year, that sold for 825,000. And so you can see here, 9.2 hadn't sold for 6 years. It had a huge jump in that period. And so more than double. And so I thought we were going to see a pretty big drop back down, because that's what we've seen in most other grades, if not all other grades. In that same period, we've seen a decent drop back down for that book. And because we had two kind of come up within, I mean, a year and a half, it's a long time, but it's not that long. And so two of these 9.2s coming up, I thought it was going to take a hit, and really didn't that much. I mean, 780,000. If I was the seller of that book, I would be extremely happy with that number. I think that is a very solid number for that book. All right. Then we already talked about the Journey to Mystery 85 went for 90,000, which I felt was really solid. Talked about the Wiz Comics #1, ended up closing at 288, which ties its prior record. We have now I'll say this one also really surprised me. The first Alan Scott Green Lantern, All-American 16 and a 3.5 restored. And this one had trimmed edges. I thought that the trimming and everything was going to hurt this book. It did not. Did not at all. 63,000. I had this one going for 40 grand. I had it going for 40,000 and 63, over 50% above. I mean, just again, like consistent, strong sales today so far. Now we are pretty much caught up. I haven't checked the X-Men 1 yet. So an X-Men 1, 9.2. This one went for 156,000. I had this one going for 145,000. Now it's down from its peak. Its peak sale was 305,000 during the comic boom, but this still going for 11,000 more than my estimate. I feel like just a solid sale, like a respectable sale for this book. Now, one of the really interesting ones, I had somebody comment in one of my prior videos about it, that a book that I should check, and so I just figured I'd talk about it in the live stream. It's this one. This one is sitting real interesting right now on the bid. Somebody really wanted that. It looks like they want the first appearance of Vandal Savage. So it's a 7.5 Green Lantern #10. It is currently sitting at what is it? 27,600. So if we jump over to Green Lantern #10, and sometimes people just, if you've got enough money and you don't want to wait, you just you pay what you pay, I guess. And that's what happens, especially with rare books. And like this one, like a 7.5 sold last October for 6,700. And, you know, like a 5.0, 2,600, 3.5, 22.8. I mean, we had a 9.2 Crippen in 2020, sold for 6,600. This is at 27,600. Like, it's not white pages. It's not top of census. I don't know. that one I don't understand. If somebody can explain, like, I don't know, is there some like Randall Savage or what is it? Vandal Savage? I think Vandal Savage. Yeah. Vandal Savage hype out there, like something that's going to be popping up in the Superman movie or something, because I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand that price on that book, but yeah, I feel like that's going to be hopefully you want to keep it for a long time on that one. We had a Green Lantern 1. That feels low. We had a 5.0 for 15,600. Let's look that one up. So we're already on Green Lantern. Green Lantern number 1. Let's see what a 5.0. Okay, so yeah, there's been some weird sales with that one because we had a 5.0 go for 21,600, then a 5.5 for 15,600, 4.0 for 10, 3.0 for 13,200. Like prices have been all over in here. Now, if I had estimated that 5.0, I probably, that's tough. I probably would have put it at like 18. Like I would have thought maybe this 15.6 was low, but based on these, like this sale, like the 3.0 sale at 13.2, I probably would have put it at 18 and it went for 15,600. I mean, I feel like that's like Green Lantern 1 is, I like that cover. I think it's pretty cool cover. I like the dark covers. So I feel like that's a good pickup. All right, let's see what else. Any other comments here? The Conserve book went for 66,000 back in 2018. That must be the which Conserve book was that? That was the Tech 35. And if that's the one you're talking about, yeah, and going for 78,000 now. So I mean, restored and conserved books are always can be a little tricky, and to actually have it go up, I feel like that's a solid sale. Oh, you said, yep, yeah, you said the Tech 35. All right, so let me know, are there any books that anybody would, you know, we'll keep the auction going here. I didn't price anything in the, oh, here we've got the Vandal Savage. I didn't price anything in the Green Lantern books. The Green Lantern run just doesn't interest me all that much. I like the idea of like the first appearance, like the All-American 16. But other than that, for the Golden Age Green Lantern, it's not a huge appeal to me. But haven't gotten any more bids yet. I'll be surprised if another bid comes in for that one, because 27,600 is a serious number for that book. I am actually interested in how this, I didn't price this one out, but I want to check this one out. So we've got Sergeant Fury number 1. Sold for 78,000, a 9.4. I know this book is extremely difficult in high grade. Let's see what the, so there's 8 and 9.4, none higher. So it is the highest, it's top of census, but it's not single highest graded. I don't know if I've ever seen a 9.4 of that book sell. I feel like the highest I ever really see is like maybe a 9. But let's see here. So we had a 9. There was a 9.4 in 2024 in December, but one hadn't sold before that for 13 years. So we had in 2024, 120,000. What did this one go for? 78,000. So yeah, there's the risk of buying in when you haven't seen a book sell for 13 years. And then you get a big number like that and it pulls out, you know, some of those other copies. Like there's 8 copies out there. I think that's what I said. I think it was 8. 9.4. Yeah, there's 8 copies out there. And if somebody sees a book sell for 120,000, they'll put theirs up. So I'm not surprised it dropped. I feel like that's a pretty big drop. I probably would have put it at like 90 or 100, somewhere in there. Like I would have expected some drop, but seeing a drop of 42,000, that is a pretty significant drop, in my opinion, for that one. But right, let's see here. Hey, 12-cent comics and cards. Thanks for joining. My dog, I don't know if you're my dogs in the background. Somebody must be at the door. But I figured I would talk a little bit about the books that are already above where I thought they would go. So we can jump around. We can look at some of these books that are coming up for sale. So the first one here, one of my favorite books of the Golden Age. We got 91063, kind of late Golden Age, but Detective Comics number 168. First appearance. Let's see if I can get this to go. Yeah, it's not going to. All right. But first appearance of the Red Hood, first origin of the Joker. And this one is currently sitting at $37,200. I had this one at $35,000. Its prior record was $38,400. So it's not at a record number yet, but I feel like it's at a pretty solid, strong number. The 5.5 that's coming up afterwards, I feel like is sitting a little low. I had that one going at 16.5, and it's currently sitting at 10,500. So I feel like that one's sitting just a little bit low. Is it 10,500? Yeah, it's currently sitting at 10,500. But yeah, I think that one's sitting a little low. But they're both really nice looking copies. Like this 5.5 to me is really impressive. I mean, obviously the 8 looks great, but this 5.5 colors are really bright. It just has this bit of damage on the right hand side here. That's really like the main thing that's taken away from that book. So I think this is a really, really nice copy of that book. But we've had one comment in here already about some people bidding on books in this. Is there anybody else in here that? And yes, I do still have my copy of Tech 168. But is there anybody else in here that's looking to bid on anything? If not today, maybe we've got the big art that's selling tomorrow. We've got the slightly more affordable comics that are selling on Saturday, and then the slightly more affordable art that sells on Sunday, but it's all still super expensive. I mean, I priced out, like I said early on, if you joined a little later, out of it's about 206 or 207 items. Let's see how many it is here. I think it's 207 items that are in this first set of comics. I priced out 98 of them. And my estimated total for those was $4,621,700 just for those 98 items. So you could probably guesstimate that. I mean, it's not going to be double because I probably picked a lot of the big items out of there, but I mean, maybe 7 million or something like that. The last big signature auction, the first day's comic sales was like 4.7 million. So there are some big books and a good consistency of big books that are part of this. I don't think there's nothing that's going to break that $1 million mark. You don't have that singular huge item that's going to break the $1 million mark in the comics, but there are a lot of really high end books that are part of this. So I like seeing these. They're fun to watch. Oh, actually, this is actually one of the books I was really interested in watching, the Adventure Comics number 38, because I had find that one. See if I want to bid on it, because it's the Cosmic Airplane pedigree, and I'm not going to say what I had my estimate on. I don't know. I don't know if I want to bid on it or not, but I sold I had the Cosmic Airplane pedigree is my favorite named pedigree. I just think it's a really cool, fun name. And I had a Catman 28 from the Cosmic Airplane pedigree, which is an LB Cole cover, and I sold it earlier this year. And so I've been looking at, trying to find another Cosmic Airplane pedigree book to add to the collection. But yeah, so this is just when I see them coming for sale, I'm watching those. Same thing as like Okajima pedigrees. I'm always watching the Okajima pedigrees. All right, it went over my estimate, so I had it going for $8,000, and it's already at 8,400. So there's somebody else that is also interested in getting a Cosmic Airplane pedigree book. But yeah, you don't see these early adventure comics all that often. I mean, 1939, like right around Action 1. So, all right, let's see. Said not bidding. Tim Danner said, I'm looking to bid on some original art on Sunday. Yes, I am as well. I am definitely watching some original art. Oh, he says not bidding, closing on a new house. That is very reasonable then. Yeah. They always say not to make any large purchases around when you're closing on your house, because it can, if you move money out of your bank accounts and everything, can mess things up with your financing and everything. So yeah, I would say I would not recommend bidding on any comics right now. Johnny Two Chip says, I have a 6.5 of the Tech 168. Definitely interested to see how high they both go. Yeah, that's one of the other things. I like to watch the books that I own. Like if there's a book in here that I have, even if it's not the same grade, I always like to see what the market is like for, for those books. And man, this one is still going. I think it's, what is that now? 10,300. So doing pretty well right now. But yeah, yeah, there will always be more houses. That's true. But now Adventure Comics 40, this book has been super hot lately. Now let's see. I had this book. Its prior record was 53,155. I had it going for 48,000. Sitting a little below that right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls in a couple more bids. Like the Sandman covers, these Sandman books have been doing extremely well. I mean, you saw that with the Adventure Comics 42 that sold earlier in this auction, where it went for $50,000 for the 8.0. So, I mean, I think if somebody, okay, we got a couple more bids, so we're up at 48 now. Let's see, what did I say I had that at? Yeah, I had it at 48, so it's sitting right at what my estimate was now. So we'll see how that closes out. We got watching the Superman 3 and interested in upgrading my Cap 2 and or Startling 49. I am watching all of those as well. The Cap 2 is interesting because it's a CBCS. So, you always hope like maybe you can like get a little deal because it's that CBCS case. Like if somebody doesn't want to bid on it and you can get a discount. But we'll see. Let's see. When does that one come up? Yeah, and here we got another Adventure 40, but a qualified grade. Let's see, when's the Cap 2? Yeah, so the Captain America 2 is item 51. So it's 17 away. And then I am also watching the Startling 49. It is actually the same grade as my current Startling 49. So I'm more watching that one just to kind of see what the pricing is on it. And yes, I'm also watching the Superman 3 because it's one of my favorite early Superman covers. It's the same reason I like Action Comics 13. I like the way that the train is depicted on that cover. So I won't say what I have the estimates are out there for that then. So I'll let you, I don't want to interfere with your bidding on those books. But let's see here. See what other big items we have coming up. We do have the 3 Batman ones are coming up pretty soon, and we have the All-Star Comics number 8 that is coming up pretty soon. That's going to be it's first Wonder Woman. It's a 3.5. That one's sitting pretty low. Was this the double? Yeah, this was a double cover, I think. Yeah, so Adventure 42. I like this cover. This is one of my favorite Sandman covers. I think this one is awesome. But a 6.0 double cover. Let's see. I don't know. I feel like it's going for a good price right now. We'll see. I mean, the prior record for 6.0 alone was 4,100. So it's over that. But it's tough to say what a double cover is going to add for the premium. Because there's another double cover that's coming up later in this auction, the Detective Comics 69 double cover. And with that one, the higher grade covers on the interior. So you always wonder like how much that's going to hurt the value of the book because you've got the less presentable cover on the outside. But if anybody would like me to price out a book or anything like that, just let me know in the comments and I will, I'll look up that book. Or if there's one that's sold that you want to talk about, I will happily go and find that as well. But let's see, let's talk about some other big books that are, a couple other ones that they're already, I feel like doing pretty well out there. The Phantom Lady books, there's an entire run of Phantom Lady from 13 through 23. The issue 17s are not 17, 21s are not selling today. I think the 21s both sell on Saturday. I don't know why those got separated out. But you can see here, it's 91084. I'm guessing this is somebody that had put together the complete collection. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have any affiliation with Heritage or any insight to who's selling what. But given what this collection looks like, I would not be surprised if it was one person that had put together the entire run. Because I mean, look at this. The grades are all so similar, like an 8.5 issue 13, an 8014, an 8015, an 8516, a 6517, an 8018, an 8519, an 8020, an 8022, and then the 6523 CBCS. But they're all so similar, like 885s, other than what are the two most expensive books, 17 and 23, which are both 65s. So, and then, like I said, this issue 21 is selling, I think, on Saturday. There's a couple copies of it, actually. So, I mean, I would not be surprised if these ones are all from the same person. Let's see. Wow, the same X-Men 192 that just hammered for 156, sold for 276, 40% drop. So that's the thing. I don't really think of it that way. So yes, because I know like that's where it's tricky with comics, especially with the pricing on books that don't sell all that often, is that it looks like, oh, this was a big drop in that book. But the reality is, because if you just joined, I talked about that one earlier today, or earlier in the video. And so like that X-Men #1, I had estimated it was going to sell for 145,000. And so to me, that was actually a strong sale. Like it sold for 156,000, beat my estimate by 11,000. Not super strong, but a solid sale beating my estimate. And it's because with these books, especially the ones that don't sell all that often, you can't price the book based on its last sale. And so like if we go look at X-Men #1, so we go look at X-Men #1, you can't price these books that don't sell all that often based on their last sale, because you can see here, like X-Men #1 and a 9.2. Yeah. So here you have, let's see, am I looking at the right one? I feel like I'm not looking at the right one. Because yeah, the high was 250. Oh, 305. That's what it is. Okay. So we had the high. Yeah. So it was probably this same book is what you're saying, that the high was 305, but that book sold for 276. But so like that was 2022. We haven't had a sale in that book for 3 years. But if you look at every other grade, that's kind of how I end up pricing this stuff out. That's one of the ways that I look at books that don't sell all that often. It's something you absolutely have to do when you're pricing out Golden Age books, just because you may never have the same grade come up for sale again. And so, so what I'm always doing is I'm looking at, what other copies sold around 2022. What was that book going for? And then how much have those dropped since then? And so if I see, like if I looked, I don't remember what I did for this one, but if I looked at a 7.5 and saw that in 2022, it was going for, you can see here, going for anywhere from 57 to 85. And then what do I think it would go for now based on more recent sales at 31? Like that book was down 40, 50%. And that's how I end up pricing those books. And so, yes, there was a big drop in that book, but to me, it was actually a solid sale because it went higher than what I thought it would based on the drops in other grades. So just something that I'm always thinking about with that, especially like that's something, like I said, I have to do with Golden Age. And that really also applies when you're talking about high grade silver, just because those don't come up for sale hardly ever as well. I mean, high grade bronze comes up pretty regularly, high grade copper. I mean, like you'll see 9.8 ASM 129s and 9.8 giant size X-Men 1s and that kind of stuff come up fairly regularly. But high grade silver age like that just doesn't. It's usually also once every few years or a couple of years that you might see it. So you've got to price it in a very similar way. I mean, Phantom Lady movie. I mean, I don't know who they need to talk to about it. I don't know I have no idea who owns the rights to Phantom Lady right now. Let's see. I don't know what can we get a Phantom Lady movie? Did he break it? I don't know what that means. Then we got you outbid me on the Action 13. I didn't like the tape down the side. Yeah, so that's, but also didn't realize how few blue labels there were. That's the thing. Like, especially with Golden Age, you learn that unless you have unlimited funds, which I don't, you can't be picky. Like, that's why I've said, like, page quality just doesn't matter to me. Like, I'll buy brittle page books, slightly brittle. It does not matter to me. Whereas some people will be really picky about it, but I mean, like Action Comics 13 or whatever, like you might already have to wait a couple years to get that book. And what if the next one that comes up for sale is an 8, or a 6 or something? And it's like, now that's like $100,000 plus book. Like that's never going to be something I can buy. And so I have to, like, you got to target, certain, not only certain price points, but also like if you start getting into things like page quality and that, like you can be very difficult to buy anything at that point. There are some things that are big deterrents for me. Like if it's missing a big piece out of the front that obstructs something like important on the art or the image, then that would be a deterrent for me from bidding on it. Fading is also one. If it's really bad fading, that would be a deterrent. But other than that, I'm pretty easygoing. what I'm willing to go after. I'm not going to be too picky about anything else. All right, let's see what other books have sold. Oh, we've got the All-Star 8 just sold. So let's go back to the current lot here. So the first Wonder Woman, I had this one going for 35,000, went for 31,200. This book, I mean, it's lower. I will say that feels kind of like a weak sale to me, but it's also just surprising to me that this book just doesn't do a little better. Like, I mean, when you talk about, I mean, I get it. She's not on the cover. Like that is definitely the big thing. Like all the other big superheroes, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Flash, they're all on the covers. And so like of their first appearances. And so you just like, it really is a downside with this book, but it's the first appearance of Wonder Woman, like one of the biggest characters of all time. And it just sells for a fraction of what those other books do. But yeah, 31,200 for All-Star Comics number 8. I mean, that's another book that I think would be cool to own at some point. Let's see what other books came up for sale here. We had an All-American 19 and a 6.5. It went for 20,000. Oh, is that the first appearance of the Atom? I feel like that might be what that is. Yeah, first appearance of the Atom. So let's see. Let's just look at that one. All-American 19. So All-American number 19, first appearance of the Atom. We had a 6.5 go for 20,400. So 6.5. Prior record was 24,000. In 2018, it was 16,755. We also had a 7.0 sell for 24,000. So I probably would have had it at like 21. Like based on the 7.0 sale, I probably would have had it at like 21. What did it do? 20,400. So like maybe a little low, but that sale seems reasonable to me. Not weak, not strong. I mean, a little weak, but kind of in line with what I would expect for that one. Yeah, imagine having a reverse auction flip. Yeah, I wonder how that would work with big books. Yeah, with big books like this. Those are always fun. People cave too early. If anybody's in here that watches those flip mode sales, if they are doing the reverse auctions, you got to hold longer. Like they will keep going down. Like they will go down until that book is at $1 if you force them to. So you gotta hold and you can eventually get it. Hey, Cameron, thanks for watching. But all right, now we are on to the Batman number 1s. So this is the first of 3. So you can see here, well, we already had the 3.5, but the first of 3 right in a row. So we've got a 1.8, we've got a 6.5 restored with a married back cover, and then we have a 3.5 with trim. I think it's all 3 edges are trimmed or something like that. These two are really tough to price because like the married back cover makes it tough that it's, it's a piece from a different book. And then it's like it. Yeah. And then we've got the trimmed edges, which I know some people really don't like trimming. So it can be tricky. And now let's see, the 1.8 went for 84,000. That feels low. Let's see. What did oh yeah. I think somebody stole that book. I don't know if somebody in the chat won that one, but I feel like that Batman 1.8 feels like a absolute steal. Now, and again, that could also be part of this, like 4 of them selling in the same auction. I mean, that is, I don't know, it's just a lot of Batman one. I think that's the most Batman ones I've ever seen in a single auction. But 84,000, I had it going for 125. Its prior record was 180, and it's not even like it's like a brittle or slightly brittle pages or anything. Like it's creamed off white. It's like very respectable page quality, a nice looking copy. And let's take a look at the back cover. Yeah, like solid looking copy. I don't know. I think 84,000 was a steal of a buy for that book. Then we have this one, the 6.5. I have that one going for 38, and it's already at what, like 43. So this one's already, which doesn't really surprise me. I was having a hard time pricing, but it's like, it feels like Batman 1. It's like it sells for between 40 and 50,000 no matter what. Like it's like no matter what, no matter how, like if it's restored, you know, the low end is going to be between 40 and 50. And I should have just gone with my gut on that, because that's what I've just always seen. And it looks like that's what this one's going to do. It'll be interesting to see what this one does then, if that one follows that same trend. That it's just like the bare minimum to get that book is 40 to 50 grand. But we'll see. It's almost closed. Let's see. If you get a steal like that, do you immediately list or prize the deal you got? So it depends. I mean, if you're a dealer, like you're buying it to sell it, like you're immediately listing it, and you're probably going to trade. I'm guessing that's probably how you're going to end up moving that book. It's hard to say. But did I see a 3.0 Batman 1 on Comic Link that sold last month for hair under? There's no way it was universal. It had to have been restored or something. But I'll also say, like, that's why, like, Comic Link sales, I don't account for them really, because they don't get pulled in anywhere. So I know that they happen. But if I didn't specifically watch it or whatever, like, I don't know what happened. And so that's the same thing with everybody else out there. And that's why, like, the Comic Link sales, I don't typically account for them in my pricing, because unless everybody sees it and it's on the places where people can regularly check, it's like it didn't happen. It's kind of like it's in the wind. Okay, yeah, it was restored, but yeah, that does, if it was 30 grand, that sounds like it was a steal, and I wouldn't be surprised if that one got put back up. But that's one thing why people like to buy at Comic Link, because nobody knows what they paid. You know, and except for the few people that happen to maybe be watching that one specific book. And so that is definitely that is one thing that people do like about purchase. I mean, myself included. It's one thing I like about Comic Link, is then nobody knows what you spent on your book, and you're not fighting your own purchase if you ultimately try to sell the book. That is always a challenge. If you're someone who's selling, is that if it goes into GPA, it goes into Go Collect or whatever, you're fighting your own purchase price. But yeah, so 50,400. I mean, that's a very respectable sale for that book. It's a nice looking copy. Like, it is a very clean looking copy. It is an extensive A5. I mean, it's had a lot of work done, but it's a clean looking copy. Now let's see. This one's sitting at 36. So that one's going, I mean, a little lower than what I normally see with these, but it is trimmed. And I think this one is this amateur? No, this is professional as well. So it's extensive. And then so this is an older graded book. And so the P means professional. If it had been amateur, it would say A. But it's also reglossed, which is one of my least favorite. I don't like the concept of reglossing. So there's a lot that's done to this one, and all 3 edges trimmed. Let's see, what did it end up? Has it finished yet? No, it's still going. So 37,000 now. We had some all winners books. I talked about these in my. I don't really care for this all winners number 3. I do like number 10. 10 is a pretty cool cover. You've got Submariner and Bucky and Cap and Human Torch and Toro. You've got Bucky with the machine gun. I like the covers with Bucky, you know, swinging in with a machine gun. Those are always super cool. What did that go for? 5,520. All right. Why doesn't GPA pull Comic Link data? They're big, aren't they? So Comic Link, from my understanding, does not want their data provided. I don't speak for Comic Link. I don't know, but that has generally been my understanding, is that Comic Link does not want their data provided, and they purposefully, well, I don't know. I believe, my understanding is they do not want their data provided, so they do not either give permission or whatever to use it. They also pull their data very quick. So like you can see like Heritage and generally Comic Connect and Hakes and those types of places, like you can go and you can find that data forever. It's very easily searchable. Whereas when you go to like Comic Link, they do have some of their data that they make available. They didn't used to do this. This is, I feel like, is a little more recent within the last couple of years. I don't remember them doing this before, but where you can see prior auction results. And like, I don't remember being able to go back like this, but maybe they did. And I didn't realize it, but you can go back and you can individually look at auctions, but you can't search. So it's like, you can go look at the results. And if you want to go here and do like a, control F, and then like look for like, oh, Amazing Fantasy 15 or Action Comics or whatever, you can scroll through this, but it doesn't have everything. Like they sell thousands and thousands of books. So it doesn't have everything. It has whichever ones they decide to put in here. I don't know if it's a price point thing or what, but so you can go through and find some sales, but it's very manual and it's time consuming and everything. And so it's problematic trying to get sales data off of Comic Link. Let's see. And Comic Link is snipeable as opposed to Comic Connect or Heritage. Yes, they are different styles of auctions. Comic Link, yeah, it's just like eBay. An eBay auction is like it's ticking down, and you do your last second bid to try to get. Heritage, if you've been watching here, Heritage, when you bid, it here I can show you what it looks like when it's live. So as the time starts counting down, when you get within 5 seconds of it ending, you'll see like a little counter start up. And so we'll have to wait until somebody doesn't throw in a bid, but you'll see a little counter start going down. And then if somebody bids again, it adds roughly 10 seconds, and then it'll start counting down again and you can bid again. So there's just no sniping. Comic Connect is the most annoying because with theirs, when it's within 3 minutes, anytime you bid, it jumps back up to 3 minutes. So it's super obnoxious. But I mean, I get it. Like that's how you ensure that nobody misses a chance to bid. But like sometimes you can have books that take a half hour to end. And it's just really frustrating as somebody who's like me, like I'm often trying to watch multiple things at once, and it gets really tricky on Comic Connect because it doesn't go in a linear fashion like Heritage. So it's like Heritage, you don't move on to the next book until the prior one's finished. Comic Connect, it just keeps going. And so you can have 15 books, 20 books all ending at the same time because people have bid and it's added on time and all that kind of stuff. We've got, are people going to start sharing all the Comic Link stuff on Go Collect? But I mean, like somebody's going to have to want to do it, and like I said, Comic Link sells thousands and thousands of books in each of their auctions. They have some that are bigger than others, but I've seen some of theirs where it's been like 10,000 books. And so nobody is going to want to sit and manually type those results in. Now I have added some in. I know other people have added some in, like the books that we're interested in, but it's very focused. And usually it's like, you've always got to think of what's the person's motive when they're adding that book in. Do they have a copy and they want that high sale to be in there? Or do they want to get a copy and there's a low sale and they want to use that sale as reference? Like that's where it's a little tricky with that. But yeah, I'm sure that will cause some sales to get added in, but in no way is it going to be complete because it's just too much work. Wouldn't I want my sales out there? No, absolutely not. I'll tell you the truth as someone who is buying books. Like I don't want the price I paid out there. Like if you're selling a book, you don't want what you paid. Like, if you go to like a shop, is a shop posting on the wall, I bought this collection for $100. and I'm selling you that, and it had this 9.8 ASM 300 in there, and I'm selling you, this book for 2,500. Like, that's never going to happen. like you don't want what you paid out there. And so like, that's where it is tough like that. So, I mean, the reality is like, you don't like as a seller, like, and I'm sure some people won't want people to say that, but as a seller, you don't want what you paid out there, because you, like I said, you are fighting with your purchase price then. I mean, I have that happen all the time where someone's like, oh, this is what you paid. Like, they'll specifically tell me like, oh, this is what you paid. I only, I don't want to pay any more than that. It's like, okay, that's fine. But then I'm not going to sell it. So let's see. Yeah. So yeah, you can see, yeah, not always any result can be perceived as a trend, that kind of thing. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone pick a book you're responsible for and add it in. I'll make sure to share the first Spider Boy. So yeah, it is really a tough part. It is an extensive amount of work to manually add all those sales. So yeah, as an auction house, wouldn't you want to promote that? That is something that I would have thought they would want to do, but only if it links to your sale. So but I mean, from what I've heard, they don't. Like, I've actually heard that they don't. Like, they're fine with it being the way that it is. And maybe, part of it could be because then you have the market of people that don't want people to know what they paid. It's like when I do a private sale, sometimes I'll have people reach out to me and ask like, oh, what did you sell that book for? And I won't tell people, because it's not my job or they're like, what if the person that bought it doesn't want anybody to know? Like, it's not my responsibility to tell someone else what someone paid for an item. If that person wants to go out and say what they paid, that's fine. But I mean, I think that there are some, like, I'll say like Heritage, it works out really well, I feel like, for them, because their sales stay on their site forever. And so it's always this thing that you link to when you go to. But there's other places that sell that link in their sales that you can't get to. And so those ones, I don't know why they share their data, because you have no idea where it even came from. And so if you're not getting some type of benefit on your side as the auction house or the seller, like linking that sale in so it draws people to your site, I don't know why they do it. So what do I think the Chamber of Chills 19 will go for? Is that one coming up pretty soon? It is. All right. All right. So the Chamber of Chills 19. I wonder if I want to talk about that one, because it's one I'm thinking about bidding on. But then you will also see me bidding on the screen, which is, I don't think there's enough of a delay for that to work out for me. But I have the Chamber of Chills 19 going for 38,000. It is currently sitting at 21,600. So it is quite a bit below that right now. But yeah, that's what I have the 19 going for. Now, I know it did have a sale that was much higher. Its record was 52,800, but I don't think it's going to, I think that was an outlier sale, but I could be wrong. I mean, that's where it's always interesting to see how this stuff plays out. Oh, we've got the cap too. All right. I gotta pay attention for a second here. So the cap 2, I know what I think it's going to go for, and then maybe I'll bid on it. All right. So, all right. It's sitting at 10,800 right now. Do I want to bid on this? I don't know. It's getting away. It's a nice looking book. It is a nice looking 5.0. The centerfold's detached, but you can get like I've seen an 8.5 with a detached centerfold. Typically what I see is a 7 as the top. It's getting right up around where all right. So I had the cap 2 going for 14, and it's sitting at 13.2 right now. So it's really right in line. So I'm very upside down on my cap 2. So this one needs to go cheap for me to bid. Let's see. I've noticed more books of mine selling lately. Do you feel like there's a slight uptick in the market happening? I have not noticed that for me personally. So the weird thing with eBay though is that, let's go back to the front cover there. I've been really busy lately and I haven't been listing much. I have a lot of books up for sale, but I haven't been listing new stuff. And I've noticed eBay is very, their algorithm really seems to punish you if you aren't regularly listing. And I've seen that. I've watched that on, I've watched some like YouTube channels where they're, give you seller tips and that kind of stuff. And in those videos, they say the same thing. They're like, you have to constantly list. Wow, this one's actually doing pretty good. I'm impressed with this Cap 2 sale. So you actually have to regularly list for their algorithm to share your stuff out there. And so I've noticed that, like, when I'm regularly listing, I'm not just selling the books that I'm listing. I'm selling more books that I've had listed for longer periods. So there is definitely some truth to that. And so when I'm busy and I just don't have time to list books, which I've been for a little while, I feel like I get kind of like stagnant on my sales. Let's see. So 12 cent, will it get to 20K? I mean, it's close. I mean, it's right there. It's at 19.2 right now. It just needs one more full bid. So you can see here, if we get one more bid, the bid is 17,000, but the actual sales price is that 17,000 plus 20%, which is 20,400. But regardless, I mean, it's sitting at 19.2. I had this going for 14. I will say the CBCS label did not hurt that book. And there we go. Now we broke 20. So over 20. So CBCS label didn't damage this one at all. Let's see if it gets any more. That is a very impressive sale. If you plan on talking comics, you need to join ComicsGate. We are the real deal. I won't subscribe to your channel unless you're a pro comic. I don't know what that means. I should be talking about Cyberfrog. It's probably the best comic ever made. MSG says it's CBCS. Yeah. I mean, what did it go for? It ended up going for 20,400. Really solid sale. I'm impressed with that one. I don't know how many CBCS books are in this auction. There aren't many. This feels really low. 8.5, sitting at 13.2. What did I have this one going for? Captain America number 5. I had it going for 19.2. All right, it's gotten a couple more bids, so it's at 15,600 right now. But man, it's a nice looking copy too. I mean, 8.5. This is that first Stan Lee work, and on like a comic book story. But yeah, like colors are really, really nice. And what is it? For clarity, I do own a copy of this book as well. But yeah, this is a very solid looking copy of that book. Like colors are popping on that one. Let's see. Yeah, Cameron says, I agree. I feel like you definitely need to be consistent with listing. That's why I used to just like keep a box of books next to me, and I would, at night, I would just list a couple every night. And then I don't know, you just kind of like fall out of the habit. Like you need to like build the habit of doing that at least like one book, like every day. And the problem right now is that like a lot of the stuff, or actually all the stuff I have to list is raw, and listing raw books is just a lot more work. Like, especially because a lot of it is Golden Age. And so whenever I'm listening to a Golden Age book, I've got to count all the pages. A lot of times I got to go to like the Grand Comics database to confirm the page count, because they aren't, if you know the Golden Age, it could be a very wide range of page numbers in the Golden Age. So I go to Grand Comics database, I do the page counts. I've got to check for restoration and any cutouts and all that stuff. And then just like when you're doing the listing, I always make sure I describe any of the flaws clearly. It's just something I've learned over time, like with eBay, it's just, you have to, like, it's like, you just, to cover yourself, you got to make sure you not just take good pictures, but you've got to describe the flaws carefully. And so listing a raw book is a lot more work than in terms of time, than listing a graded book where I can just do, front, back, and then I'm pretty much done. And I'll often check for like scuffs or something and maybe take a picture if there's any scuffs or scratches that are big or something on the case. But listing a graded book is much easier and quicker than listing a raw. Let's see, 22,800. Nice. All right. I'm happy with that sale. So let's see. It's record too. Its prior record was 19,200, and that one went for 22,800. So new record for the Cat 5. I felt the same way every day. I list stuff to get one sale or some offers at least. Yeah, it is the interesting thing is like you'd think it would just be the new books that you list, but it's not. Like it's like I'll have books that have maybe been listed for a year or something, and all of a sudden those are getting attention. It's definitely something with eBay's algorithm, like the way they share stuff. I rejected your offer on eBay. Well, it all depends. If it was an auto reject, it's because it was below my threshold. So I may not have rejected it, but my threshold acceptable price rejected it. Okay, I don't know who this CG King of Comics is. All right. Let me. There we go. I guess he's gone now. So yeah, I don't know what Comicsgate is, and he seemed to be very yeah, he seemed to be causing some problems in the chat. So he's now gone. So I guess not good advertising for Comicsgate. So how much will Startling Comics 49 be going for? I mean, one of those that I hope it goes for a lot because I own that book. And yes, 12 cent. I did block him. Let's see. 12 cent says I have 500 books, only had 11 in store. Oh, I have like 500 books, only had 11 in store listed. I mean, I think I have like 550 listed right now, but the reason I have a bunch to list are that it's that Golden Age collection I bought like a year and a half ago, and it was like 650 books or something. And I listed all the books that were the $100 plus and the 50 to 100, and the ones I have left are all the 50 and under. And it's like, it all takes the same amount of work. You know, it's the same amount of work to check the books and all that, but it's a lot cheaper stuff. And so it's hard to get motivated to list those books that are like $10 and $12 and all that kind of thing. All right. Let's see. Yes, it is a lot of time. Like, I mean, if I had to roughly estimate like listing the time to list a raw book with pictures and everything, it's probably 15 minutes. And I might be underestimating that a little bit. Like, and so it's like maybe 4 or 5 books an hour, like, because like the Golden Age stuff, I do try to be as descriptive as possible, because there's always a lot of flaws, and it's how you avoid returns. You know, it's like, I don't want people to be surprised by something. Yeah, yeah. So that's just for me. That's what I try to do as best I can. Right. So Chamber of Chills 19. We'll see what this one does. It feels low right now. Because yeah, I had it going for, I don't know if I said, I have it going for 38,000. Its prior record was 52,800. It's sitting at 28.8 right now. It's a really nice looking copy, like a really nice looking 8.5. I did own a 7.5. I don't own it anymore. I had the Bobby Blue copy from Flip Mode. So let's see what this one's doing now. So now it's at 27. So it's at like 33.6. Is that? I think it's at 33,600 now. So now you can see this is where it's going to be it's a big jump up. So now the next bid. Oh no, there's a cut. There's still a cut of 29. So we'll see. Now it's at 36. So now it's getting pretty close. He says, this is much better than working. Thanks, Ryan. I'm using my PTO right now to spend time with you guys watching comics come up for sale. So, but that's one of the tough parts with these big signature auctions. Like I always have to just check the books afterwards, because the big day is a Thursday. It's like a weekday in the middle of the day, and I'm working. And but I'm taking PTO today, so I can actually watch the auction and do the live stream and all that kind of stuff. So 12 Cent Comics says, it takes me 15 minutes to find the right lighting. So Oh man, so it actually went almost exactly what I thought. I always like, I don't know. I get a kick out of getting like the price almost exactly right. So I had it going for 38, went for 37,200. So right in line with what I thought it would. But yeah, so for your comment there about the lighting. So what I have found for me that works the best for lighting, because I don't have a light box. I don't know if that would help with anything, but I like to use indirect sunlight. I found that that works the best for slabs and for raws. And so I just have a certain spot that, you know, with the lighting gets indirect sunlight for like certain parts of the day. And I'll just, when I get good lighting, I'll take a whole bunch of pictures at once. And maybe I don't list all those that day, but it gives me some a set of books that I can list over time. So yeah, indirect sunlight, I just think it really makes colors pop. I don't know why that is, but I feel like they look really good. That's usually what I use when I post pictures on Instagram too. It's indirect sunlight. I just think that it just makes the books look really, really, really good. Like, I don't know if it's just makes it look more real or something, but otherwise I'm using like this light from like a ring light. And I feel like it's a little too harsh. So that's my recommendation is indirect lighting. All right. Yes, yeah, just a staycation. Well, we had a vacation that we took, and I extended it by taking a couple more days during the week because I part of it was I knew this auction was coming up, and then I could watch that and you know just take a little more vacation. It is incredibly hot outside though, so I don't really have a lot of desire to go out into that blistering heat right now. Now, I will say one thing that there's another one of these that's coming up for sale later in this auction. I think it's later in this auction. Let me find it. Let's see if I can find that book, and then I can look up the number. Let's see here, because it was the thing that really caught my attention about it was that yes, 93095. So here, let's go here. Then we'll do 93095. I think I might have talked about it in my video. I don't remember. Oh, it's not that one. I got it wrong. 93095. Did I? Was I off by one? That's Catman. Oh, no, I got it right. Okay. I don't know what I did there. All right. So this book right here. So the cool thing about this copy is that, so this is a 3.0. I don't know what I had it going for. I haven't priced this one out yet. But the cool thing about this copy is that this one actually has the end of the cigarette. Like, I feel like you never see this book with that end of the cigarette. It's just hardly ever. And just even the 8.5, you can see the 8.5. You can't see the end of the cigarette. And the problem with it is that this book is basically a perfect wrap. I mean, you can see like the 8.5 is, if we go to the back cover, like perfect wrap. You can't see any of that back cover on the front or anything, but it still cuts off that right edge, which is unfortunate. It basically means you can't have it's like you have with the Tales of Suspense 39, you know, where you try to get the double quotes at the end of Iron Man and the little blue under the table. The problem with this one, the problem with this one is that once you can see that cigarette end, it starts to cut off the left edge. And so it cuts off this text over here and it starts cutting off Chamber of Chills up here. So it's basically impossible to have like what you would call like a perfect wrap for this book. And so you got to kind of decide like which do you prefer, if it matters to you at all. But I know some people really like the idea of having the end of the cigarette. And so if you do, if that's you, like if that's what you want in your copy of this book, this is actually one that has it. And like I said, I feel like I almost never see that. So I feel like there was a long time where I didn't even know you could actually see the end of it. But it is there on this 3.0 that will sell on Saturday, if that's what you're into getting. All right, Tech 29. Shoot, I wanted to watch that one. Got to jump back real quick. Let's see what this one's going to go for. What did it end up selling for? 31,200. I had it going for 28. That is a nice sale. It's a brittle page copy too. 2.0 brittle pages, 31,200. It's actually my favorite Detective Comics. Well, no, second favorite Detective Comics cover. My favorite is 31. My second favorite is 29. I think it's just such a cool cover. I think it's much better than 27. I mean, 27 is the first appearance, so that's obviously the important thing with that one. But I think 29 is a better cover. All right. Yeah, I do. I appreciate the likes. If you hit the like button, I do really appreciate it. It helps the channel, shares the video out some, so more people end up watching. Yeah, Bryce Comics did a great video recently about how he takes his pictures of lighting and eliminates glare from the slabs. Yeah, that's why I do. That is why I do the indirect sunlight. For me, that's how I got rid of that glare. But yeah, I'm guessing he probably has some type of light box or something like that. Oh, yep. Yeah, here we go. 2 soft light boxes left and right, 45-degree angles. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Tech 29. It really is a cool book. Then we've got, I mean, there's a bunch of great Detective Comics in this auction. I'm going to disable the bidding so I don't accidentally bid on something there. But yeah, like we have this one here, which is first Clayface and kind of, sort of the first Joker cover. So a 6.5 went for 36,000. Let's see. What did I price that one? I had it going at 34. So it went for 36. So that's another one where the prior record for that book was 45,600. But based on what I'd seen with other sales, I thought it would go for 34 and went for 36. So yes, it's down from that prior record, but to me, it was a solid, respectable sale for like right now, for this moment in time. And then we've got a Detective Comics 43, 7.5 off-white pages. This is one that I think mine is also a 7.5. So I hope it gets a lot of bids. It is currently like 4,600. This is the one I'm really interested to see how this book does. This Detective Comics 69, because it's a double cover, which is, some people care about it, some people don't. I think double covers are pretty cool. I like that. That's a cool type of manufacturing defect. But the exterior cover is a 5.5. Interior cover is a 7.5. In my original video, I said I thought it would still break 20. I think the 7.5 had a sale. Let's see. 7.5, I think, had a record of 36,000, but then it had a more recent sale of like 23 or 24. I thought that I had priced this one when I went back and I priced it at 20. It's already over that though. We're at 19, which is really, now we're at 24,000, 26,000. So it's doing pretty good. We'll see how it, here I can pull up Detective Comics number 69. So we got Detective Comics number 69. I mean, arguably the best Joker cover. I mean, I used to like this one a lot more. I don't know. I've gotten into other books, but I still think it's the best Joker cover that's out there. So a 7.5. Yeah. Last sale was 23,500. The record was 36,000. But I had it going. I said in that prior video, I said I thought it'd go over 20. My estimate after I went back, I said 20. And so 26,400. So a very respectable sale for that book. But yeah, this is the, you can see here, double cover, first cover 5.5, interior cover 7.5. So if you have multiple covers, and I'll caveat, because there's somebody who commented on the video, and I'll comment on that in a second. But if you have multiple covers, barring something else, you get the highest grade of, the grade you get is the highest graded cover. And so this is one of the tricky things with that I feel like people maybe don't understand. It's funny, my brother commented about it to me recently. That people don't understand that don't make videos, and is that you can't say everything in a video all the time, because the videos become long and boring and like lectures and that kind of stuff. So you can't say absolutely everything. But the tricky part is, if you don't say everything, there's always people that want to try to like correct you in the comments. It's just one of the challenges with making content. And so one of the things like I said in the video was, I was like, you get the grade of the highest graded cover. And the comment was like, oh, but if there's, interior damage or like page quality differences, like, yes, I understand that it doesn't mean that like, if you had an incomplete book, you get the grade of the highest graded cover. Like there's some things that you just have to hope that the audience is aware of, or can make that extra little leap when you're talking. And so, yes, if the page quality is brittle, the highest grade you can get with a brittle page book is a 3.5. If the page quality is slightly brittle, the highest grade you can get with slightly brittle is a 6.5. So it's like, yes, if this book had slightly brittle pages, you could not get a 7.5, you get a 6.5, even if the cover was a 7.5. And if it had brittle pages, the highest you get is 3.5. It was missing the centerfold, you would get a 0.5, regardless of there being multiple covers. And so, yes, there's little things like that where it's like, you're always battling on like, how much information do you say in the video to try to avoid getting the like correction type comments, and how much do you give out there to like try to give people as much useful information as possible. But yes, when you are grading a double cover, barring something else, interior damage or whatever, the grade you get is the highest graded cover. All right. Got some fantastic comics. I'm not a big Fantastic Comics fan. I know Fantastic Comics 3 is a pretty cool cover. I will give Fantastic Comics 3, like, I'm not a Lou Fine fan, but I will give Fantastic Comics 3, like some credit. Like, it's a pretty cool cover, but it's still not my favorite. But if I had the chance to get one, I would, I wouldn't turn it down. But there isn't a 3 in this auction. We had a 2, and I think there was a 4. Yeah, a 2 and a 4, but no 3. Let's see. So the 5.5 went for 16,200 for that tech. What did I? Oh yeah, let's check what the 168s all went for. So the 168.80 went for 37,200, which is what it was at. So it means it didn't get any bids in the live. But I had it going for 35, so it beat that estimate, but it went below its record of 38.4. The 5.5 I had going for 16,500. It went for 16,200. So pretty much right in line. Its prior record was 15,100. So a new record for a 5.5. And so didn't hit my estimate quite, just, like a percent off, or like 2% off, but very solid sale for that book. All right. Let's see if there are any other cool books that sold here that they may have missed. Oh yes. Because I also own I have a 1.0 Detective Comics 28. I was interested in this one. And so a 3.5 second appearance of Batman went for 26,400. I had this one going for 25,000, and its prior record was 15,600. So a new record for Detective Comics 28, and beat my estimate by $1,400. And this one, mine is a universal and has a very minor amount of color touch on cover. This one has very minor amount of color touch and very minor amount of glue. So that's one of those things, if you're not aware, you do see this in the Golden Age more often than anywhere else. You can have it in the Silver Age too, though, and probably modern, I'm guessing. But if the glue isn't doing anything, you don't get a purple label for that. And I don't know what the threshold is for very minor amount. So I don't know how they make the decision that this very minor amount doesn't, count against the universal, but that is one other thing that you can come across, especially in the Golden Age, because people do ask about that a lot. Like, did CGC make a mistake or something? Was it supposed to be restored? And the answer is no, that was intentional. And it's just, there are certain thresholds and things that allow you to still get a universal. Yes, shocked and appalled that I did not mention, but it happens quite a bit. You'd be surprised. But the comment that I made about my brother's like, you make these like caveats all the time, and I was like, yes, because if I don't, then people are constantly like throwing stuff at me. So it's like, yeah, you kind of learn how to do that. Yeah, be careful not to bid. Yeah, I have never accidentally bid. So I've never accidentally clicked on one of these, these bids. Now, so I'm generally not too worried about having that open. Now, the thing that I have done is I have accidentally, well, not accidentally, I have bid above what I was planning to bid. And when that happened, and that's why what I do now when I'm bidding on something, I almost never wait for the clock to tick down. On a heritage auction, if I am going to bid, I will just bid like right away. Now on Comic Connect, I will play the game. You know, like if it's, I'll wait down to like the full 3 minutes down to like 2 seconds left and then put in my bid just to frustrate the person. Like I'll play that game on Comic Connect. But on Heritage, because you're clicking a button to put in your bid and not typing in your bid, if someone else throws in a bid like half a second before you do, and that price jumps up and then you click, I have had that happen before where then I end up bidding above, like going above what my threshold was. Like say it was the final bid I was planning to make, and someone throws in a bid right before I click, and then I click, and now I've bid above what I wanted to. I have absolutely had that happen. And I have won books before, I think only once or twice, that I ended up having, I was like, I guess I'm buying this then. So that was earlier on when I was bidding. And that's when I used to do, I would wait for that clock to tick down. And a lot of other people do that too, but that's why now I just don't do that. If I'm bidding, I just, click real quick and get my bids in, and I don't screw around with the timer. But yeah, Comic Connect is more fun for that. I definitely like playing the mind games on Comic Connect for bidding. You can, because we've talked about that in our live streams when we've done Comic Connect live streams, where sometimes you can tell people will like, they'll go in strong like early. And so that it just shows someone that you're there and you're ready to bid, or you wait because 3 minutes, it feels like an eternity. And like in the last Comic Connect auction, there was some of that original card art that was coming up for sale. And I was bidding on those, and I thought I had won the Iron Man and Fin Fang Foom one, that I wanted that card art. And I thought I had it twice. Like it got down to like 2 or 3 seconds, and somebody bid, and I just, it's crushing. It's crushing because you think you have it in your grasp, and it gets snatched away from you. So there can be some fun things going on with the Comic Connect bidding with that. Like the 3 minutes, it can be frustrating, but it can also make the bidding fun. Let's see. Now, I didn't price this one out. For me, it's just because it's not, I mean, it's Marvel Mystery Comics 2. It's cool. Like it's 1930s. Like that is cool, but it's not the cover art style that I like. And so it just wasn't one that I was really following. But I imagine it's going to go for quite a bit. This one too, the Pickle Hitler one, just one of the craziest Schomburg covers that is out there. And I mean, I don't think it's going to go for what it sold for. Like there was a 7.5 that sold during the comic boom, maybe like a year or two ago. I think it was maybe 2 years ago. And I think it broke like, it was like 50,000 or something. It was 45 or 54, somewhere in that. But I don't think this one's going to get there. It might, we'll see. But let's see. Let's look at Marvel Mystery number 2. So oh, were you bidding on the Iron Man Fin Fang Foom card art? Yeah, I like dragons. I mean, I feel like that's like pretty standard for for like sci-fi nerd type guys. And so like I love dragon stuff, and I just thought that was such a cool looking piece of art. And I don't know if I was either the underbidder or I was two back. I was a little frustrated. I thought I had it. I was surprised it went for less than the Doctor Strange, because I thought it was better than the Doctor Strange one. And but yeah, those both did pretty well. Let's see. So Marvel Mystery number 2. The Doctor Strange one was pretty cool too, though. I thought those were the two best ones: the Doctor Strange and the Iron Man Fin Fang Foom. All right, so we have the 6.0. Wow. It is currently at 38,400 for a 6. The last 6 sold for 28,800, and that was the record. And that was just in November. I wonder if it was the same book. 445001. 44. It is. Same book. Wow. That's pretty good flip for whoever bought that one. Yeah, I mean, they bought it last November for 28,800, and then they just sold it for 38,400. Now, I don't know how much fees they had to pay, because if they had to pay a 20% fee, then that eats into most of that. But they may have had a deal. I have no idea. But yeah, 38,400. That's like what was that? A $10,000 jump. Wow. That is a solid sale. Continuing this trend of what have been pretty strong sales from what I've seen in this auction. Let's see here. I wonder if I can find that. It's probably saved. I'm gonna try to find the Fin Fang Foom card art, just to kind of show people that one, just because I thought it was pretty cool. All right. All right. I know I should be talking and sharing. Oh, you guys you can watch the screen and see what's selling over there while I try to find this, because it's always a little trickier to find there it is. All right, cool. Now I can pull this over here. All right. So yeah, so it was this. I think this is awesome. And it's pretty big too, 10 by 14. It's not like it was, like a small piece. Because I remember when Mickey went to that, he did that video at that, like that art show, like original art convention, or OEA. I don't know what it's called. I don't know anything about original art shows, like AOX or something like that. Whatever it was, a lot of the original art for the card art was pretty small. Like for the earlier ones, this is a little bit later. I think this is like like 2015. But the earlier ones were much smaller, and so that's why I thought like 10 by 14 would be a really cool. But yeah, I thought this was such an awesome depiction of Iron Man and everything. I thought it was super cool. But yeah, so they add a 15%. So my bid would have been what, 5,100 plus 15%. So that's what, 5,001. So I would have bid like 58, and the winner got it for 63.88. So, but it's gone. I didn't get it. So, all right. So will they give better selling fee deals with bigger books? I am not a representative of Heritage or anything like that. So if you would like to know, you can reach out to like Rick Akers, for example. He's on Instagram, and he's like their VP of comics. So but yes, you do get different deals depending on what you're selling. I know it just like, because there's different, there's the buyer's premium, which is this 20% buyer's premium, but there's also a seller's fee. And so depending on what you're selling, sometimes they'll waive the seller's fee, sometimes they'll waive the seller's fee and part of the buyer's premium. There's all kinds of little things that can be done there, because obviously, like, if you have really big, cool stuff, that's what brings eyes into the auction. Like if we like that Action Comics 1 cover, it's like an Action Comics 1 anything doesn't come up for sale all that often. And so if you have that thing, you can probably broker some type of little better deal, because that's something that they can put on like the front of their advertising and all that, to just like brings eyes in so that people bid on other stuff. So yes, there are different deals depending on, what you have. Yes, the cap 2 went way above what I expected. Yes, me too. What did you estimate the buyer hoped it would grade at? A 4.5 cap 2 recently sold for 11.2. Based on that, I feel I made a bad deal. I made a bad deal for mine. There's no way for me to know what that cap 2 would go for. I felt like, or not what it would go for, what it would grade at, without really having it in hand. It did say it had a detached centerfold, but it otherwise looked really nice. I wouldn't have been surprised if it actually graded higher, as long as it didn't have any splitting or anything. So let's jump over to that one. So Captain America number 2 was 91051. So here's the Captain America number 2. It's such a nice presenting copy. Like it's got, you can tell it's got like a little chipping along the back, maybe the back cover on that edge, but it looks like it's fully attached. There's nothing that screams detached cover on there. There's nothing that screams splitting. Like there's maybe a little thing down here. There was nothing really that jumped out to me. There's like maybe a little crease here. And then if we go to the back cover, I thought looked really clean too. I mean, just like look at, like you can see there's these little like maybe chip type things that might even just be on the interior pages. But yeah, I didn't see any, like there's little bits of like some small tears on the bottom, a little tear on the spine. I didn't see anything that really jumped out like staining or anything. I mean, we could look up, it's always such a, let's see, it's such a hassle to look up the CBCS graders notes. Let's see here. So CBCS graders notes. So, all right. 251444. 251444. 316-001. 316-001. All right. So centerfold detach, front cover detach. Oh, it is detached at the bottom staple. Okay, so that is, if you have the front cover detached at one staple, I believe the top grade you can get is either a 6 or a 6.5. Few spine stress lines, tiny wear, top outer spine, tiny spine split, top and bottom with tiny chips. Creases to cover, most fairly light, some small color breaks. I think it would probably grade a 5. I think it would probably carry over, like based on those graders notes, I think it would probably carry over the same grade. It might get a 5.5, but man, like the ones where they have a detached, one of the staples is detached, always makes me super nervous. Yeah, it's just too bad. It looks like it's attached, but I guess it's not. Is it fully detached? Front cover. Oh, it's just attached at the front. Okay, so the bottom staple is attached at the back cover. It's detached at the front. So it could actually, I think this book would have a shot at a 5.5, maybe even a 6 if it was resubmitted. Unless there's something that really, it is a very nice looking copy. Colors are great. Let's see what, Captain America #2. I didn't have any concern that it wouldn't get a 5. So we had a 6.5 at 18.6. I mean, that tells me that this was a really strong number for that book. It is a great looking copy though. I mean, so you got to take all that for what it's worth. Like, you know, 1.8 for 11,100, 6.0 for 18.6. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a 7. I don't think it can get a 7 with those flaws. I think it's capped at maybe like a 6. But still like a really, really nice presenting 6.0. I think it could do better than a 5. I don't know. You never know until it gets resubmitted. I'm not CGC. So, let's see. Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of fees, but the way I also look at it is that, especially with big stuff like this, like they're getting those people in the room that have that money. Like that's what you're paying them for. And so it's like, if you're trying to sell that stuff on your own, whether it's on eBay or on Instagram or whatever, like how many people are willing to hand like an individual $100,000 or $50,000 or 600,000 or whatever, you know, it's like, it adds that additional layer of security and everything else with that people feel comfortable with. So yeah, like, I mean, I get it that people don't like fees, but I feel like they're often justified. I mean, like me, like I'm fine paying the fees to eBay. I like everything that eBay does by like making it easier for my stuff to be sold. It is annoying, like I talked about earlier in the video, that I seem to constantly have to be listing stuff, or their algorithm like doesn't push my items. But But otherwise, I do tend to like eBay. I was limited by space. Basically, did it get that price as what I was graded or what they hoped it would grade out? I'm guessing they bid on it based on cross grading. Like that's just, but I'm just speculating. I have no idea. Like I'm not the person who bid on it. So I can't say, like maybe they're just going to keep it in this case. But my guess is they bid on it based on cross grading, like in a hope of what they might get for that book. But I don't know. Maybe they didn't check those graders notes and see that that bottom staple was detached at the front cover. And that's maybe a limiting flaw. And they can't get, maybe they thought it could get a 7, but I don't think it can get a 7 with that flaw combined with the detached centerfold and everything else. All right. Depending on the fee rates over the years, which I'm sure has changed a lot, is it possible to make less money now in a book that's sold at a higher price the same time ago? Yeah, because I mean, you have no idea what the fee structure was for someone else. Like you don't know what deal someone else made when they were selling a book. Like if you're selling just one $20,000 book versus someone who's selling got like 50 of them, or they happen to have like $1 million book in there too. Like you just have no idea what deal someone else got. All right. Let's see what else has sold here. I mean, we had this is, yeah, it's always interesting seeing some of this stuff come up. Like this one, the Detective Comics 7, because it's the Christine Farrell collection, which just sold last year. And then it came up again. I guess, I don't know, somebody decided they didn't want it or whatever. I mean, that's a stunning book for Detective Comics 7, 1937. Like the colors on that thing are insane. Let's look that one up real quick. Because I don't know what, actually, I probably do know what the Farrell sold for. Let's see. Detective Comics 7. It sold for $16,200. I estimated it would go for $18,000 because I thought it went low. It went for $22,800. So other people also thought it went low. So yeah, I felt like that $16,200 sale that it went for last year was cheap. Yeah. Oh, here it is. There we go. So $16,200 in October of last year, I felt was low, and other people agreed, and it went for $22,800, even more than what I thought it would do. But those early texts, the pre-Batman texts, I mean, especially in Universals and nice presenting copies like that, they just do not come up for sale. Let's see. We've got first appearance of the Spectre, 5.5 restored, more fun, number 52. I had this one going for $22,000, went for $27,600. Then we had the first appearance of Dr. Fate. I think this was a slightly brittle pages. Yeah. 4.0 went for $16,800. And I had that going for $14,000. I mean, just again, like this first day of sales has been pretty impressive. I mean, at least for the ones I've been watching. Oh, wow. It beat I did not expect that. $60,000 for Marvel Mystery 46. I was not expecting that at all. Its prior record was 45,600. I thought it was going to do 39,000. I thought it was going to drop because it had come up for sale a few times and it jumped. Wow. That is I mean, just strong sales today. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I think it's the same book too. I mean, I doubt there's many of them. 4.3 and then 30005. No, it's a different copy. Newly, that's really newly graded. Let's see. Let's see when that one was graded. Probably this year. Maybe late last year. Yeah. Graded this year, April. But wow, yeah, 60,000. That is an impressive number. Yeah, I mean, and I like seeing that stuff. It's like I like that there are certain aspects of this this like the market that are still doing really well, and the high end market is still doing really well, which has been very clear in this auction so far today. And the art market is a lot harder to price, but I think we've all been seeing a lot of really strong sales in the art market. I'm not concerned at all about that. It'll be interesting to see how things go on Saturday with the slightly less, like not as big of comics on the comic side. All right, now we are into this long run of Phantom Lady. So Phantom Lady is 13 through 23 minus 21 to see what they all go for. The big two are definitely 17 and 23, but there are, I mean, these books are such high grade, like these 8.0s and 8.5s that, Crippen pedigree and all that just don't come up for sale. Like I expect them generally to do pretty well. I mean, look at this, like an 8.5 number 13. Let's check that one out. I mean, it hasn't sold for a long time because its prior record was 2,390. I thought it would go for 8,800. It's already at 12,000. Let's just look when that sold. It must have been like 20 years ago. Phantom Lady 13. So that was an 8.5. Almost 2020 or 2006. So 19 years ago, it sold for 2,390. And today it is currently at 13,200. So closed at 13,200. So yeah, definitely some impressive numbers. Let's see. Did the books found under the staircase sell? Yes, they did. If you go back early, you'll see kind of like a little rant that I did about that because I was basically saying, I hope the person that bought them from that person who found them, like the woman, whose grandfather owned them or whatever, either paid sufficiently for them or goes back and gives some more money because they went huge. The Adventure Comics 42 sold for 50,000. And the Action Comics 15 sold for like 20,000. So some very big numbers for those books. But yeah, let's see. So Phantom Lady 14, that's probably like the least desirable cover of them. I mean, I think it's like that boat in the background. It just, the boat in the background looks like it was drawn by like a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old or something. Like that one, the background leaves something to be desired on Phantom Lady 14, but it is still a Baker cover and art. But let's see. So we've got Phantom Lady 14, but yeah, I mean, it's a Crippen 8.0. What did I have it going for? I had it going for 5,200. Its prior record was 2,400. It went for 43.20. So less than what I thought, but a record in grade. So, I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a weak sale, but it's also a less desirable book. Then we had issue 15, went for 8,400. Wow. I had that going for 4,900. Its prior record was 1950. Went for 8,400. So yeah, I mean, like I said, like Matt Baker stuff is just still super popular, and it's not all that surprising to me when these books have these big numbers like this. Phantom Lady 16. I had this one going for 8,500, and it's a little below that right now. It's sitting at 7,500. But another Baker cover. See if it gets, now it's at 78. See if it gets any more. But yeah, I don't know if he was a dill or sweet pickled. Hate-filled pickle, I guess. Yeah, the non-superhero books. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Baker stuff, Baker has been on a tear. Like Matt Baker, everything has been on a tear. And I mean, like the romance books have been going crazy. Obviously the good girl art type books have been going crazy. Wow. That jumped. So I don't know if you saw that. So this was sitting at 28,000 in a bid, which means like 33,600, and just jumped to 48,000. So just under 60. Let's see if it gets another bid. Wow. What did I have for that one? I had it at 45,000, which was above the prior record of 33,600. So my estimate couldn't even keep up. Now we're at 60, 66. Oh man. That one is going huge. Cream to pink pages, Phantom Lady 17, 6.5. Despite the fact that the person in my video that I talked about this book said I don't know what I'm talking about because I said it was a Baker cover, and he's insistent that it is a Jack Kamen cover, despite most people agreeing that it is a Baker cover. But whatever. But the 66,000. Wow. Let's look at that. All right, so Phantom Lady 17, that was a 6.5. Just sold for more than the 7 in 2023. So that was probably the third highest sale of all time. Because we had a 5.5 go for 55. But then we had a 6.0 go for 42, which looks like a total steal now. The 6.5 went for 33.6, which even bigger steal. And this one went for 60,000. 66,000. Wow. Yeah. Third highest sale of all time for that book. Incredible. Yeah. So the demand for Phantom Lady 17 and in general, the other Phantom Lady books is not decreasing. Let's see. So 18 went for 7,800. I had it going for 62. Prior record was 61.53. So new record and beat my estimate. Then we've got 19, which is a Crippen. I had it going for 6. It's currently sitting at 6,600. Now it's 72. Yeah. I mean, what can I say? They're all overvalued because they're slabbed. Give them to, yeah. You're not getting them any cheaper raw. That's always one of the things I think is always kind of funny. It's like, yeah, these books, like they're going to be expensive, slabbed or raw. It doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, if like an Action Comics 1 is raw, you're not getting it cheaper. It's still like, I think the highest graded Action Comics 1 or highest, how would you say that? The best condition Action Comics 1 is raw. I think it's like considered to be probably a 9.2. Oh no. Okay. I don't know what that was. Let's see. I like 7 Seas 4. Should have been bidding on the last one. I like 7 Seas 4 as well. I don't know if they're completely like they're different styles almost. You know, it's like the Phantom Lady books and the 7 Seas books are very different feels to them, just in general. Because I think, let's see, I don't remember. They're pretty close in year, but yeah, I mean, I really like 7 Seas 4 and 6. I don't really care for 7 Seas 5, but I really like 4 and 6. I really like some of his romance covers too. Like he has some great romance covers too. Like he has, I don't know, his stuff is just in general really solid. Yes, I do still have my Fish Face copy that was signed by Fish Face on the back cover. I've tried to upgrade it a couple times, unsuccessfully because they keep doing this and and going for insanely huge numbers that I can't pay. So yeah, that it will probably remain my book. So because I think it would be very difficult for me to get a copy. I mean, it took me years to get that copy. I had been trying to get a copy for years, and I bought that one raw, and I paid a lot for it raw. So like I paid 10 grand for that copy raw. so yeah, that's where it's like graded or raw. It doesn't really, it's still going to cost you a lot of money. Unless you just like come across like, I guess like one where someone doesn't know what it is or something, but yeah, it's generally going to cost you a lot. Man, this one's still going 19, but yeah, there's some cool stuff still coming up for sale. Anybody else planning on bidding on anything else coming up in this auction? Because I mean, we are only at item 90 out of 207 that are selling today, and I will not be able to stick around for all of that because I have some other things I have to go do. But yeah, if there's anything else, hey, Flip Mode Comics in the chat here. I just if you didn't If you didn't watch my unboxing video, I had 2 books that I had picked up from them. Go and check that one out that I sent off to get graded. I used their presser, which was Rocket Comics. I had some people ask about that. I said it in the video, but I guess maybe people didn't hear it or something. But they had basically, you could have it sent directly to their presser. And I got the what ended up being the second highest graded Jungle Comics or Jumbo Comics 69, which is the first Matt Baker art. And then I got a Brave and the Bold 28 back as well. But yeah, go and check that one out. And yeah, always make sure to check out their live sales that they have usually, every few weeks or so on a Sunday. So yeah, just follow them on Instagram, and then you can find out when they're going to have their, their next live sales. But yeah, they're joining as I'm about to leave. We're 2 hours in. We're almost through all the Matt Bakers. I mean, it's 19 is, maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's not updating on my screen. I'm going to try, okay. Yeah, that's why I did get an error, and that's what it was. So we can see what these sold for. So the 19 went for 9,600. Let's see what it, just to close this out and see what I had. Yeah, I had that going for 6,000, went for 9,600. The 20 I had going for 5,500 and went for 7,800. The 22 I had going for 9,500, went for 10,800. And the 23 I had going for 6,500 and went for 90. Oh man, I don't know why I'm getting these errors. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so Phantom Lady books, definitely knocking it out of the park in this auction. And we have these couple Planet Comics that are mile high copies. So if you're into collecting Edgar Church mile high, crazy high grade books, there are a couple options there as well. But hope everybody enjoyed the video. I'm heading out. There's lots more comics coming up for sale. So, if you buy anything, make sure to come back and comment in the chat and let me know what you picked up. Cause yeah, there's some awesome stuff in this auction. I've got a number of things I'm watching, and hopefully maybe I can pick something up in this auction, but we'll see. But yeah. Oh, let's see. Before we end, we've got, will Phantom Ladies ever chill out or even drop a bit? Seems impossible right now. I don't know. Right now they don't seem to be, but I mean, everything has ups and downs. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's some period that things trend down, especially, who knows, depending on financial markets and all that kind of stuff. Like these are all super high end. Like there's going to be lower grades that might be more affordable. Like these are 8.0 plus type books. Like these are the high end market, which I talked about earlier, is obviously doing very well right now, but that isn't necessarily true in the lower end markets. But hope everyone enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next video.